Welcome back to Chillwave and the Jetwaves, where we have low-key conversations with cool people. Today's cool person is a friend of mine, as they have all been. Uh, Ehren, how are you?
Guten Tag. I'm quite good. How are you?
I'm, I'm doing well. I live to create media, so I'm flying right now. Can you tell by the intonation of my voice?
Oh yeah, it's
I,
very intonaty.
what are you going to be talking to us about today?
Uh, you know, stuff and things. Usually stuff, preferably. No, I like
Oh,
to talk about a myriad of things, but I don't know, philosophy, wherever you want to go. I'm a yapper at heart.
Yapper at heart. Who is your? We discussed this recently, but for the people at home, who is your favorite philosopher?
I'm kind of a fraud philosophy fan, if I'm being honest. I haven't read much at all in the ways of philosophy. I'm very YouTube brained. The brain rot has gotten me. But I'd say from what
Mm,
I do know, probably Albert Camus. He coined the term absurdism. Some say the creator. But with philosophy, you can't really pinpoint that sort of thing. There could have been just some dude in the woods who thought the exact same thing, but didn't put a word to it. So
right, exactly. Um, I'm a. What else? Camus was absurdist. He wrote No Exit,
I
or is
believe
that
so.
someone
Yeah,
else?
don't quote me on that, but I know like his most famous, like, the myth of Sisyphus or something something Sisyphus, where one must imagine
Gotcha.
Sisyphus
Okay,
happy, which I
that's
don't
the
even
one I'm
fully
thinking of.
agree with, to be completely honest, which is funny considering I just said he's my favorite philosopher. But
You're allowed to disagree with people and still
oh
hold
well,
them in
yeah,
high
of
regard.
course.
You know, it's all good. I Who else have we talked about recently? Descartes. We were trying to get Noah into
Yeah,
Descartes, or I was at least. Um,
how'd that go?
he watched all the videos I sent him.
Oh,
Um,
that's new for him.
are you familiar with? He's not even here to defend himself, dude. Are you familiar with Descartes and his kind of ideas?
A wee bit, not much. So enlighten me.
Okay, Descartes is one of my favorites. For the following reason, I am very self-centered. Um,
W.
but it's one of the same reasons that Absol is my favorite rapper, which is they are both people who
Cuckoo bananas, one might say.
cuckoo bananas. They spiral in the same way that I do.
Gotcha.
Um, in
Was
that,
Descartes a flexor?
was he?
Did he flex? I'm asking you. Was he a flexor such as Absol? I know Absol likes to flaunt from time
Oh
and
no,
again.
I'm talking more about the darker side of Absol, uh,
Uh,
the mental health stuff. But Descartes specifically was the one who wrote the meditations on, it may just be meditations on philosophy, but I could be wrong. Um, and he effectively tried to break down his entire, he spiraled, tried to break down his entire existence, and then slowly rebuilt his understanding of the universe, uh, including proving to himself that there was a god, which is interesting. Again, disagreeing with people that you hold in high regard, potentially,
for surely.
for surely.
Now
Uh,
you saying that it does intrigue me because I know me I for the people at home I'm also a friend, some might say, of Noah, though it might not seem like that on the surface, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but he
uh,
has mentioned your talking tos about philosophy and God, and from what I heard from him is I got the impression that you do believe in a God. So it's interesting you say you disagree with his
Um,
stance.
yeah, I wasn't expecting to get into my religious beliefs on this show. Um,
Oh well,
but
we don't
oh
have to go
no,
there. I was just
I'm
curious.
happy to. Uh, so I guess I believe not in the Christian God. I believe in God more as a concept, um, where the underlying it all sounds so like pretentious and
I
hippie-ish.
mean, this is philosophy. You got to lean into the the
The pretend.
pretentious. Yeah,
Uh,
some
I
might say, and I do.
some sorry, one more time.
Some might say, and I do, of leaning into the pretend. It's a new thing I'm starting. You understand?
I understand. I don't understand. Uh, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, my understanding of religion and God. Right.
Right? Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
just
In the
that.
hippie niche, the
Um,
hippie-ish niche.
yeah, I think there is. I don't know whether you want to call it God or love or uh, whatever you want to call it. I do think that there is kind of an underlying current in the universe that sort of holds it all together. Um,
Like the Force.
like the, you know what?
Hey,
I guess,
it's not the first time I've heard that analogy, to be frank with you.
I guess kind of like the Force. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know if the implication was that I believed in the Christian God, but I do believe in a God in
Right.
some sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think he specified Christian God, so that makes sense.
um, but I don't agree with the way that Descartes proved to himself that there was a God. From my long time ago reading of the Meditations, and I should have refreshed myself before recording this because I knew we were going to be talking about philosophy. Uh, but um, to the best of my understanding, he his proof that there was a God was sort of the Coca-Cola bottle theory, which Noah and I just talked a bunch about in the last episode. The idea that because of the idea that there has to be a creator because things like Coca-Cola bottles or buildings don't just spawn into existence. And
Right, right,
that
right.
I don't agree with. I don't think it's possible to compare the universe with um, something like
A
a
man-made
Coca-Cola bottle.
object.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. He had
Um,
the same conversation with me, talking about like if you saw a house in the woods, you would assume a person built it and it didn't just spawn there.
his analogy for me was a Minecraft reference.
Oh, how quaint.
Yes. That all of existence is a super flat world, and if there's a house there, someone has to have built it. Which isn't even accurate to Minecraft,
Yeah,
I'm
the
realizing.
Minecraft, they just, yeah, that's the only
Huh.
person who builds is you, and you don't build villager houses. Villagers don't even build villager houses. It's just a part of the
Interesting.
generation.
In my head, the villagers built the houses.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, headcanon, that's a whole different story. If we're talking about the lore.
In my beautiful brain, in my beautiful mind. To tie into last episode, I guess, with Noah,
What about
uh,
what about
what
last
are your.
episode?
You haven't seen it because it's not out yet.
Oh, no, no,
But
no. Of course.
but Noah and I discussed um, the idea of the Big Bang and whether there needed to be an outside force for it. And I'm curious what you think about
Uh, I do not think so. If I mean, since we're on the topic of Noah, when I've had a similar conversation with him, I've noticed, I don't think he does it intentionally, but he phrases it in a sense that he talks about before the Big Bang. But a problem with that is the phrasing of the question itself, because the Big Bang created time, so there was no before the Big Bang. You can't have
Right.
something before the start of the timeline. It is the beginning.
So what are your thoughts on the theory that another universe imploded, and that's
It's I'm not sure. It that's kind of out of my depth, but it doesn't seem completely implausible.
out of your pay
Um,
grade?
yeah, I always found the I don't remember. It was like small world theory interesting, where I'm pretty sure it was like almost entirely disproven, but I found it interesting nonetheless. Where if you like zoom in enough, you find like tiny universes inside like molecules and protons and neutrons, and then if you
Oh
zoom
yeah,
out, we're like inside of a neutron or an electron.
I think that's bull crikey.
Yeah, I think it is like proven to be like completely implausible. However, still fun, you know.
It's still fun. Oh, for sure.
And if
Uh,
you are doing thought experiments with the whole brain in a jar thing, then if you're prescribed to that, then anything's possible.
okay. Okay. What I guess just jumping all around here, but jumping back to religion, what you're agnostic, correct?
Yes, I'd say that's the most accurate term that I am
Okay.
aware of.
Um I, to ask what your thoughts on religion are is so vague. So I'm trying to
Uh,
figure out a better way to word it. Did you
I think
grow
I
up
could answer
religious?
that. Uh, Not in a sense, yes. More than I am now, at the very least. But it wasn't like I was going to church or anything like that. Like maybe for Christmas once in a while. But
Gotcha.
it was just sort of a vague, like spiritual thing in a sense. It
Mm.
wasn't anything organized. Wasn't reading the Bible or anything like that.
I know I said that there wouldn't be anything to commentate on in the game, but there is now a 6 car pileup directly outside of my store, and one of the cars is upside down. And I didn't know that was a thing that could happen in this game.
Perhaps it's a sign.
It's a
Can a
sign.
six-car pileup happen without an intelligent creator?
You know what? Oh, that's a good. What's your 3 requirements for a god, or 4 requirements, or whatever it was? Like that it must be all loving, all knowing, and something else.
Well, from my understanding, and I just use Christianity as an example because that's the one I'm most familiar with, being
Mm-hmm.
the places that we grew up in and everything like that. But from my understanding, most gods also fit this description that they are to be a god in and of itself. It must be a singular being that is all knowing, all powerful, and loves us unconditionally or without question. I know that's not exactly the right phrasing because there is still like justice involved and such like that, but still like loves you no matter what is the general like vibe of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I don't think living in the world that we live in, I find it contradictory that one being could have all of those traits
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously.
Which is interesting to me because I guess in that sense I wouldn't believe in a god, to my understanding, um, or to my best of my verbalization of what I think.
Right.
Because I think the only thing that I think that would fall into is being all powerful. All knowing would require it to be sentient, which I don't necessarily know that it is, to my understanding, or to my beliefs. And again, to be all loving, I think it would have to be sentient to some extent.
Right. Yeah, that's
Right?
just the vibe I've gotten from general, like, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. That's the vibe I get from, like, general organized religion and their viewpoints on God.
Let's talk about it
But
later.
I would say, oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I think that amoebas wanting to move towards nutrients is the same feeling I have towards the people I love.
Okay.
A bigger and more complicated chemical process.
What was the specific wording you just used, and may I repeat it?
I don't think love is unique to consciousness.
I've been told by my producer that love may not be. What did you say? I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I don't think that love is unique to consciousness, and I don't know what, like, there's an argument to be had about what constitutes consciousness, but I think most people would argue that, like, single-celled organisms aren't necessarily conscious, but I feel like the feeling of, like, wanting to move towards something, or, like, the feeling of yearning, or, like, I don't know, that's some deep primordial shit that I don't think is unique to what we consider to be conscious intelligence.
Okay.
Which to me,
Interesting.
love is everywhere.
Which is kind of what I believe. I think. I need to think about it more, though, to have a definitive answer. I'm not in front of the microphone. Could you hear me?
Oh, I could hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sick. Sabonki. It's a new thing we're
Yeah, no,
starting.
that's an interesting take on it.
Sabonki. That was
That's a good one.
insane.
Did you hear that?
That not only got picked up, but made the microphone go to yellow.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Leave that in.
Oh, I'm definitely leaving it in, if that's okay with you.
And put
We're
a
not
little
crediting
goose
who it
image
was.
on the screen.
My producer just
Put a little
let out
goose
that
image
burp.
on the screen when it happens. Because
My
it did sound
producer
like
is
a
canonically a goose.
I want to be.
on my end.
Oh, I want to canonically be like the lady from Powerpuff Girls, who's just red hair and big boobs.
Oh, my producer is canonically like the woman from Powerpuff Girls. The mayor's secretary from Powerpuff Girls.
Oh,
No
the
offense.
one of
Don't
Nah,
fiend
'cause
over
you
the
just
woman
compare
from
them to that
Powerpuff Girls. Come on.
Listen. I won't.
I know
because
that you
were
didn't
just compared
explicitly
to a
say
real life
anything, but you were like,
person.
oh.
No, I mean, you did catch me. I was going to, however, you compared them to a real life person, so I won't do that.
Okay.
But I
That's
will say
respectable,
one of
and I
one
won't,
of the
and
first, and I'll leave it
you
at that.
officially aren't. Really?
Oh, for sure. That and
Interesting.
you see if you can find the commonality between these two. The oh, what the heck were their names from Ed, Ed, and Eddie? The sisters. What were their names?
Met Ed and Eddie as well. Childhood.
The Canker sisters.
The Canker Sisters.
The Canker Sisters?
Apparently.
Jesus.
All right, my producer is leaving, which is sad for me, but I will
That is
make
quite
it on my own.
tragic. Lee Canker sisters. I was a child, to clarify, considering it was one of the first.
Yes, of course.
No longer.
Do you want to know who my first one was?
For sure.
For cartoon crushes, was Zuko from Avatar.
That makes so much sense.
Right? Specifically, like season 3 Zuko when he had the shaggy hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, the commonality, if you are unfamiliar with the Canker sisters, specifically Lee, is red hair.
Interesting.
Curly red hair. Yeah. Another person, granted, you can see more of the face of Lee, but still no eyes, just nose down.
Interesting.
It's the mystery, you know?
So my understanding of God. I guess if I'm to reconsider it so that consciousness isn't needed for love. I guess it would
Yeah,
fit
I'm
into
not
two of
sure.
those categories then.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I agree or disagree with that take, but it is an interesting one. I'd have to sit on that.
Unfortunately, this show isn't a great format for sitting around.
Oh, are you on a treadmill, perhaps?
Can you imagine? Oh, that would be such a good way to do it, actually.
It would make perfect sense.
I could
You're
finally.
just huffing and puffing at the last end, just completely out of breath.
I'm really excited. Noah's next episode is going to be all about health and wellness. We're
Quinge.
really?
No.
I don't know. I just like that
Kidding.
we're covering like a really broad variety of topics on this
Oh,
show.
for sure.
Um,
It's cringe
specifically
because I
God in
wouldn't
the last
talk
two
about it.
episodes.
Yeah, you picked two yappers in a row,
And that's okay.
for surely.
T-Money, I was surprised. He's very soft-spoken, I feel, most of the time. But he really carried his episode.
Speaking of T-Money, do the people know of his accolades?
This will be, I mean, months old news by the time this comes out. This is episode 6, and the episodes are coming out every other week. So I think yours is not coming out until like April. But we can still
for sure.
discuss T-Money's accolades.
It's quite insane.
Yeah, April 25th is when your episode is coming out. T-Money's accolades. T-Money got his story reposted. He reposted a video of Mario blasting a Wu-Tang song in the streets of Boston, and the Wu-Tang Clan
In a go-kart,
official account,
mind you.
Yes, the Wu-Tang Clan official account reposted it. Which I don't know. I'm not like, I don't go crazy over social media stuff. But I remember like are you familiar with Twerp, Tupperware Remix? Oh my goodness, Tupperware Remix Party.
Yes, they collaborated with NSP, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've collaborated with a lot of people I've liked, like White Hot Guilt and Planet Booty and plenty of others. Anyway, they were in my top 3 artists for Spotify one year, and I posted that on my story, and they reposted it. And I remember how excited I was. So.
Oh yeah, I would be geeking.
You would be frothing. Don't even lie.
Yeah, you're right. After that baklava conversation, I'm not known for subtlety.
What are your thoughts on baklava?
What aren't my thoughts on baklava? One of the best desserts ever created by humans. The
Do you wanna know the
texture,
best dessert I've
the
ever had?
taste. Of course.
It is. There's a Turkish restaurant in Hanover, New Hampshire, and I'll try to remember the name and throw it up on the screen right now because they deserve all the accolades. They make amazing food, and the dessert that I had was straight up just a glass of hot chocolate, and I ordered it expecting like Swiss Miss hot chocolate, you know, like they would just like bring it in a
Right.
glass. It was genuine melted chocolate with like
Oh.
an ice cream base.
Oh,
It was
That
incredible.
sounds nice. Yeah, baklava and affogato, probably my top two favorite desserts. It's
What is
just
affogato again?
heavenly. Affogato is Italian vanilla gelato, commonly confused with ice cream. Uh, we typically one scoop in a shot of espresso, and
Mm.
it is simple, but it is so good. The
I don't
mix
think
of
we've
the
discussed on
cold
the
and the
channel. Oh,
hot.
sorry.
Oh, go for it. No, you're good.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
the
we've discussed what an espresso head I am on this channel yet, but I love me some espresso.
yeah. And
I call it
I'm a
I
bit
call
I'm
it
a bit of a
Daddy's jitter
snob.
juice.
That's a great name. You should open up I was about to say a restaurant. I guess it could be a restaurant, but coffee shop and name it that.
I should open up a
People are gonna be
supermarket,
chomping at the
frankly.
bit. Yeah. I wonder how you could get practice in for that. If only there was like some sort of virtual world where you could do something akin to a supermarket, a simulator, some might say.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but some might say that.
No?
No.
Oh, of course. It's a shame that could never and will never exist.
I put a speaker directly behind my cashier's head for motivation.
What's a cashier?
Hmm?
What's a cashier?
You
Like
just
someone
asked,
like an heir to cash?
I can't tell if you're doing a bit right now.
It's a bit of a bit. A bit of a bit of a bit. It's a bit. I know what a cashier is. They're the money pushers.
Listen, you've never had a job
The
before. I don't know.
Hey, hey,
I'm
hey,
not leaving that in. It's okay.
hey, hey, hey. I don't care.
No, I cut out all the parts where I'm mean to my friends so that everyone thinks I'm really nice.
Oh, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Leave that in.
Yeah, I will.
Editors, I would like you to leave that bit in.
My producer's like,
It would be
no,
quite funny.
no.
A ruse.
When it comes out that I'm the worst.
If you had a guess, no. Was that a convincing no?
What were you going to say?
No, I was gonna ask a terrible question. So I was gonna ask,
Oh, what
how
was
would you imagine ruse is spelled?
RUSE?
And that's probably correct.
Can we get a fact check on that, Craig? Thanks, Craig. He doesn't know.
Quegathy. How long has Craig been working for you?
TBH? How long I've been using Craig?
Whoa, using? Am I gonna have to call it the union?
He's an AI. Get over it. He's an AI.
I don't know. His hugs are quite human.
You've been hugging someone other than me?
No.
No. No.
No.
I
would never.
I mean, this has gone completely off the rails. I don't know.
What are rails in philosophy? Speaking
I
of
guess
rails in philosophy, trolley problem.
Mm-hmm. Are you pulling that lever
Thoughts?
or not?
I'm absolutely pulling the lever.
Interesting.
Without hesitation, I am pulling the lever.
I would pull the lever, but with some hesitation.
Yeah, I mean, I say without hesitation. I probably would in actuality in applied philosophy if I was actually physically there. However, in the thought world, new dating app, in the thought world, um, I
Oh,
would
nice.
not
I got it.
hesitate.
Um,
Nice.
nice. Uh, I Oh goodness, sorry. Uh, I think Craig is wrong. He says we've only been recording for 25 minutes.
Well, maybe if you weren't such a union buster, he'd have a better track of time.
No, I do.
Your work, you're working him to his wits' end.
It's true. It's true. He deserves a vacation. Um. Wow, I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Trolley problem, perhaps?
Post trolley problem. I think we answered what we would do. Oh, hesitate. Oh, I started laughing because I remembered something really illegal I did as a teenager.
Oh, divulge.
I used
Divulge
my
the
I
thing
used
you
my
did for all of the
I used
internet.
I used my jumper cables to.
Great googly moogly.
Word up. Bazinga. Benjamin Burkow.
That's like,
Illegal.
wow. That's like, what did you gain from that?
I don't know. Just wanted
That's
to see
just
if I could.
that's just shenanigans.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out. I don't know what the.
What the half-life is on for qualified immunity. That's not the right
Right.
term, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Where it's like, oh yeah, that you did do that, but you did it 30 years ago, so we don't care actually anymore.
That's the goal.
Yeah, so you just have to postpone this video by 30 years,
Yeah.
and then you can leave that bit in. You could do a deluxe.
Adult supermarket simulator deluxe.
Exactly. And you could add in like that fancy print
You're a
and have
genius.
only like Patreon subscribers have access to it.
Go.
But since it's going to be in 30
follow
years,
the
it's going to be
Clown
owned
Corner
by Mark.
Patreon.
www.clowncorner/patreon.com. I'm sure that's
Something like
super
that.
accurate and real.
I think it's clowncornerentertainment.com/support, but I don't know. We've got like 3 patrons, and I post
They're
like
they're
unreleased
smart.
songs on there sometimes. So
They're smart. They'll figure it out.
yeah. What are your dreams? What are your hopes? What are your aspirations?
It's a good question. I would like to do art, which I'm currently doing. So that's big W, big George W. Shout out the homie.
Shout out the homie George W.
Exactly. He read that book that I forget the name of.
Bible.
You know, the one about the farm animals. Anyways, yeah, that one too. No, yeah, my aspirations are actually just to be exactly like him.
Orwell? Or George W.
Orwell.
Who wrote Animal Farm?
Take your pick. Of course.
Was it
No,
not
in
Orwell?
actuality. No, it was Orwell. It was Orwell.
Oh,
George
okay.
George Orwell. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just living it day by day, bro.
That's the way to do it. There's
Yeah.
there's no other way to do it.
Exactly. With where we are right now, it's like just figure out how to make it work and then make it work. You know?
Yeah. My dream is to make as much as I can this year. That's my only. I'm only thinking about this year. I'm not letting myself get stressed out about the future. I just want to make a lot of stuff and like get myself financially stable. Those are my dreams.
Of course. Yeah. Not a bad start.
Let's talk about strep throat. Have you ever had strep throat?
I have. It's awful. It's
It is awful.
the
Did you
worst.
need your tonsils removed?
No, thankfully. It didn't get that bad.
Theseus. What Theseus?
Say that.
Oh, did your producer mention the
Theseus.
Ship of Theseus? Did your producer mention the Ship of Theseus? I love the Ship of Theseus.
Ay caramba with Theseus, please.
The Ship of Theseus.
No.
My bad.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah. That's where you replace parts and then yeah. Let's talk about the Ship of Theseus.
I love the Ship of Theseus.
Is it the original ship?
The question is, says my producer, is it the original ship? Yes or no?
I would say, well,
No.
you're not making it very easy for me. Make it just be a yes or no question.
No, you can answer
So
with
I
as
would
much nuance as you want.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes this a lot easier. I would say
I'll send you the
that.
episode when it comes out. 1 second. I'm sorry.
Oh, for
I'll send you the episode
You're
when
good.
it comes out. It comes out April 25th.
get your calendar ready.
Get your calendar ready. Ship of Theseus, yes or no? Or nuance?
I would say there is a whole host of books and philosophers that talk about these sort of things. It's ontology, from my understanding. And so there's a whole bunch of trains of thought about ontology. And I'm not exactly sure where I lay, but if you're interested in this sort of
Probably
thing
in your
after
bed.
hearing this, me?
Yeah.
Am I
You said
laying
you
in my
weren't
bed?
sure
No,
where
I
you
am.
lay.
Sometimes I do. But is it the same bed? Now that's the question. Is it my bed? Is it even a bed at all? Do beds exist? So after this video,
Both
if you're interested in this sort of
Schrodinger's
thing,
bed.
exactly, it's not dissimilar. It kind of is. It's pretty different. But if you want a good introduction to ontology, I would highly recommend the Vsauce video, Do Chairs Exist? And that video, as silly as it seems in concept and in practice, I would say maybe didn't change my life, but at least changed my perspective on a lot of things. But the whole premise is that, are we the composite of the stuff that makes us up, or are we the stuff that makes us up? So like human beings, or anything for that matter, a chair, for example, like what is a chair? It's made of a bunch of molecules and atoms and stuff like that. And if you take away a single atom, most people would say it's still a chair. And so where the Ship of Theseus comes in, for those who are uninitiated, is it's this boat where you replace the parts every so often when they need to be replaced, until you soon realize that every single piece of the ship has been replaced. And the question is it the same ship? And so that comes down to how you define it. I'm repeating myself. Short answer is, I do not think anything exists. I don't think the Ship of Theseus is I don't think there was ever a Ship of Theseus. I would say there was a bunch of stuff shaped Ship of Theseus wise. Chairs do not exist. There's a bunch of stuff shaped chair wise. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I agree. I have to watch that video, I think.
Yeah, it's a good introduction, and he also
I watched it when you
references
first
a
sent
lot
it
of
to me, but-
books that I'm going to read at some point, once I finish reading the 17 other books that are sitting behind me right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very interesting topic. So I would say there was never a Ship of Theseus. I would say Ship of Theseus is a convenience that we created that is in and of itself convenient. Um, but when you get down to the brass tacks of it all, I don't think there's anything. I don't think anything exists except for stuff, in quotes. There's only
Like
stuff
atoms.
shaped in different ways. Not even atoms, because atoms can be broken down to even smaller and smaller bits.
What are your thoughts on quarks?
Quarks, I think it's a fun word, and that's about where my knowledge ends.
Real.
It's a very fun word.
It is. You know what else is fun? This is an
Supermarket
incredible
simulator?
This is an incredible segue. Well, yes. But you know what's even more fun than
Me
that?
when I'm at the Segway park. Sorry, go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah, what's more fun than that?
Ending a video knowing that you've had a solid conversation.
So true, bestie.
But how do we end a video? I think with one final question.
That question being?
Give me a second.
Leave that in.
Well, I guess first question.
Well,
where
first
can
question
people-
or last question?
First question is, where can the people find you? First of the last questions.
Gotcha. I do visual art, to sound pretentious as possible, but the only thing that I'm on is Instagram, spaghetti_shoes_2. Tuah. Not Tuah, just 2.
Look at
we
this.
like to have
It's
fun
some
here.
of the art. Look at that. Whoa. There's another
Whoa.
one.
Right there. Bing bang boom. Is that hold on. What is that? Is that Haley Welsh from hit podcast Talk to a Podcast? Is she saying that you should go check out my Instagram page if you like art like this?
Oh my god, is that a dancing monkey?
Oh my goodness. Get it.
Is that Britney Spears? I'm giving myself so much work. All right.
Free Britney.
Thanks for talking to me, my friend.
Thanks for talk to-ing to me too. Thanks for having me on and all that jazz.
Yeah. We'll have you back on with Noah at some point and just see how that goes.
I'm sure it will be very calm and normal and a civilized chat about very normal things.
I'm excited for you to say that, for the people not to be expecting that, and then for that to be exactly how it goes for approximately 25 minutes. And then they realize what's going on.
Right.
All right. I don't know how to end an episode. Bye.
Ta-ta.